Pop quiz. Do you have things hanging in your closet that you never wear? Do you have things that you bought a year, 2 years ago that are still hanging in your closet with the tags on them? Do you follow lots of trends and try to dress like people you see online and still end up feeling like this doesn't really feel like me, or I just really don't have a style of my own? Well, if you answered yes to any or all of these questions, you are not alone, and I am here to help. My name is Kim, and I have what most people might consider a low key obsession with personal style. I'm not obsessed in the sense that I need to go out and spend a ton of money on clothes, not anymore anyway. Or that I need to buy expensive designer things. I just have had this passion for personal style ever since I was probably in junior high. I just remember being very inspired by people like Madonna and Molly Ringwald and Pretty in Pink. I just really love playing dress up, basically. And so, about 8 years ago, after spending 20 years as a photographer, I decided to start a vintage clothing business. It was just a way for me to kind of reconnect with that passion. And fast forward to now, it is what I do full time. That little side hustle has turned into a full time job that I absolutely love. I get to spend hours and hours every week curating new pieces for my business, styling, playing dress up, and just having fun. You see, for me, personal style is just one of the greatest forms of self expression. It's almost like an art, right? And I want people to be excited about getting dressed. And I feel like when you are getting dressed, you should say, what do I want my outfit to say about me today? And that's what personal style is. What do you want to say about yourself? And so, with that being said, I'm going to share today some of the tips I've learned on my journey that's really helped me to cultivate my personal style. So, let's start with tip number one: stop buying things that you don't like. And you might be saying, look, Kim, I'm watching this video because I don't know what I like. Well, that's probably true. You may not really have a good sense of your own personal style yet, but you definitely know, because I think we all know what we don't like, right? We know in the dating scenario, we know when we go out to a restaurant, and we know when we see clothing. We know what we don't like. And there's no judgment. We're all guilty of it. I have seen, I'll give you a prime example. The classic khaki trench coat, think Burberry slash a trench coat from Cezanne. Last year, especially, I saw it all over the internet. Lots of people I follow online were wearing these trench coats, and I would see them and I would think, man, those look so good on them. That looks really great. And so, because I do have a vintage clothing business, it is easier for me to experiment and play with things. So, I had a couple of older trench coats in my inventory. And so I would put one on and look in the mirror, and it just was like, meh, it just was not me. So I just kind of started asking myself questions like, why do I look at that and think it looks so great on everyone else? And I quickly realized it was the shape of the trench coat that I liked. I liked the cut, I liked the length, I liked the belt. And so I already had something in my closet like that. I have this great 1970s leather trench coat that is this awesome, warm, earthy color, and it fits the bill for that. So it just goes to show you, you may already have something that will work in your own closet for something that you see online that you think you might need or you want to try out, which segues perfectly into my next tip. You got to get in your closet. You got to spend some time in your closet. Yep, I'm going to say it. The dreaded, or maybe not. I love cleaning out my closet. I do it like twice a year, but the dreaded clean out, the purge. A lot of people talk about it online, and there's a reason for that. And it is because you have to know what you have. All of us have so many things in our closet that we probably never wear. And you need to get in there and spend some time in there and figure out, why don't we wear this? Why don't I like this? Why don't I reach for this? So I would recommend pulling everything out of your closet, make an event out of it, put on some great music. If you drink, pour yourself a glass of wine and just get into it. Pull everything out, start making those piles. You make a pile for the stuff that you love, even if you don't wear it. Things that you look at it and you're like, oh my God, I love that. Make that pile. Make a pile for your maybes. Things that maybe you don't dislike it, you don't like it, you don't feel any kind of way about it. Just make that pile, and then you make a pile for your nose. These are things that maybe you look at them now and you're like, I don't know why the hell I bought that. We all have some of those in our closet. So just take those no's, put them in a bin. We're going to, maybe donate those. We're going to maybe resell them on Poshmark, but we're not going to keep those because we know that they are not for us. And then you're going to take that maybe pile, I don't really feel one way or another about these. And you're going to put those in a bin, and then you're going to just put them away in a closet in another room or whatever under your bed. And I want you to try to segue into tip number 3. Live with what you have for a while. Take all of those yeses, put them back in your closet, and just live with them. Play dress up with them. Mix and match them. Wear things together that you maybe would have not paired together. And if you need help with this, you can use Pinterest for that. You can put in a search, pattern mixing, different things, different textures. Just look at the outfits and go into your own closet and see what you might have that would work. And if you find that you're missing some things that you might need to make an outfit work, go back to that maybe bin and take a look around in there and see what you have. And maybe you can find a piece in there that will work and then bring it back into the fold. But what I don't want you to do is start shopping immediately, because that is an instinct that we all have, as we want to immediately, oh, we cleaned out our closet, now we have to go buy all new things. But that is not true. I'm not saying we're not going to buy anything new, because you will. But for now, just let's live with what we have and see what we can do with those pieces. Which brings me to tip number 4. You have to feel good in what you wear. If you don't feel good, and I mean like the way it feels on your body, and also if you don't feel confident in what you have on, you're just not, that's going to show. It's going to project out into the world. You're not going to feel good about yourself, and it's just not going to be good. So we got to feel good in it. And I'll give you an example of this pertaining to myself. I'm not a fan of leggings. And that's hard. I buy leggings and I do work out in leggings, but I'll be honest, I cannot wait to strip those things off my body the minute I get home from the gym. I just don't like the way they're very constrictive and, sweaty. And especially as I've gotten older, I just like to feel comfy, and I actually like looser clothing. I tend to gravitate towards baggy jeans. I have some more fitted jeans, but I don't wear them like I used to. I like oversized things. So leggings, although I know Lululemon, that's all the rage, the athleisure, isn't going to work for me because I don't feel good in it. So you just kind of apply that same principle to yourself. You think about the things you're wearing and you want to feel good in them, whether it's comfort or things that give you confidence. And I'm going to say the next tip, number 5, is don't put yourself into a style box. And that's hard, especially for women that are, 40 plus. A lot of the content, especially for looking online for videos on how to dress in your 40s, how to dress in your 50s, we tend to get fed the capsule wardrobe and the, kind of more of the minimalist aesthetic. Now, I don't have a problem with the capsule wardrobe. If that is you, you do you, boo. I think that works great for a lot of people, but it would never work for someone like myself because I like a lot of color. I like a lot of texture. I like vintage pieces. I like modern pieces. I like to have a lot of things to play with. I'm just, I feel like my style is a bit bolder, and capsule wardrobe or more that minimalist aesthetic would not work for me. But again, if it is something you look at and you say, "Oh my God, I love that," then you're halfway there, right? But don't put yourself in a style box. And another example, I guess I could say on that point, is the Allison Bornstein 3-word method, which I actually think is really cool. Shout out to Allison. It's really fun. And actually, I saw lots of people online doing this last year, getting consults with her and coming up with the 3-word method. And I wanted to do it. So I racked my brain trying to come up with 3 words to describe my style. And so finally, I was talking to my husband about it, and I was like, give me some, what do you think my style is? What are my 3 words? And he just looked at me, kind of like I was crazy. And he said, I don't know, you have a lot of styles. And it's true. I like a lot of different aesthetics. I love boho. I love menswear. I love sporty street style. I love Western, vintage Western. There's just so many things that I love to play with. So I would never be able to come up with 3 words, and that's okay. It really is. And last but not least, I'll leave you with this. And we'll just call this a bonus tip. Have fun and don't take yourself too seriously, because getting dressed and finding your personal style should be fun. It should be a really cool, creative process where you get to express yourself. And I think we lose that sometimes. And a lot of times we lose it because we find ourselves comparing ourselves to other people. And that, in a lot of ways, can be a big trap. We're all individuals, as I said at the top of the video. And I do understand. So don't get me wrong. I understand some days are not going to be a vest, a shirt, a vintage blazer, a big chunky necklace. Some days are just going to be sweatpants. And that's life too. But on the days that we do leave the house and we do get dressed, let's think about it a little more. We're going to meet girlfriends for coffee, or if we have to run a bunch of errands, or even if you're going into the office. Take some time, even if it's the night before, to set out your outfit and play a little bit and try to put an accessory with something, maybe an accessory you've never worn with a certain outfit, or you just mix it up and have fun with it. All right, I hope this video was helpful, and I look forward to bringing you more videos about styling in the future. And in the meantime, if you want to check out my intro video on why I started this YouTube channel and learn a little more about me, you can click right here. Bye.